The Biden administration is full of corrupt and disgusting individuals. We got this story from a tweet. Asya Kamsin. She says, my name is Asya Kamsin, Tanzanian fashion designer, Tanzanian, based in Houston, Texas, USA. I lost my bag in 2018 in DCA. Recently, I heard the news on Fox News about Sam Brinton luggage issue. Surprisingly, I found his images, wore my custom-made outfits, which was in the lost bag on 2018. That's right. The Biden admin official gets off on stealing women's clothing and then wearing it in public on TV, putting the, making the kleptocracy quite a literal thing. This is a crazy story, but it exemplifies what the Biden administration is. That for everything they said about Trump, for everything they said about Trump Jr. and the people around him, how many stories did we get of Trump officials stealing women's clothing and then wearing them on TV? Yeah, none. I remember that moment. I think it was Stephen Miller. He was straightening his jacket. He was like pulling on it to straighten it and button it. And they claimed he was flashing white supremacy hand gestures. These people live in a cult psychotic world. Take a look at this. Here's the original image from Asya Kamsin. She says cap kimono designer Asya Idurus Kamsin and some information. And then here's the picture of Sam Brinton literally wearing her outfit. There it is. Look at that. Amazing. I just want to make sure I stress that the information contained in the post was posted publicly. So there's like some private information, but the woman herself posted that information. Take a look at this one. Someone said, drop all the pics you have of your clothes. Let's see if we can find Brinton in them. LMAO. Here we go. Farewell Lady in Red, 2018 designer. And then there is Sam Brinton, who is supposed to be some LGBT non-binary, like first, the Biden administration saying, look, we're bringing on these people. They're bringing on criminals and fetishists and psychopaths. This is a perfect example. Here we go. Mike Cernovich says, ma'am, I found the 2018 Instagram post to confirm it wasn't a Photoshop. Sorry this happened to you. We truly live in strange times. That's right. There's the Instagram post from this woman wearing her clothes that were stolen by Sam Brinton, accused. This is the story. They were claiming that he was stealing luggage, and he was. He's on camera taking it. The reality is, this man's not non-binary or whatever you want to call it. This is someone who gets off on stealing women's clothing and then wearing it in public. I think that this has more to do with a sexual fetish and theft than it does about non-binary or otherwise. Because if you stole something a fashion designer made, why would you wear it in public? There are people who get excited at the thrill of stealing. Some people they call kleptomaniacs. They just have to steal, right? For some people, the thrill of stealing, it's a rush they like. Me, I like skateboarding, land a kickflip, feels really good. For others, it's getting away with stealing stuff. That's what this guy is. Non-binary former Biden official Sam Brinton accused of serial luggage theft, released without bail. This is from just a few days ago. This is the latest story. Samuel Brinton, the former Biden administration senior Department of Energy official facing charges for alleged airport baggage theft, was released from a Minnesota facility Wednesday without bail. Brinton was charged with stealing a woman's luggage worth $2,325 near the baggage claim at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport on September 16th. A judge ordered him to not have contact with any of the victims. The Washington Examiner reported he was slated to appear in court December 19th, but the date was changed at the request of his lawyers. Brinton oversaw nuclear waste policy at the Department of Energy, but departed the agency last year. Sam Brinton is no longer a DOE employee, an agency spokesperson told Fox News. By law, the Department of Energy cannot comment further on personnel matters. He faces up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. In a separate case in Nevada, Brinton is accused of stealing a bag worth $3,670 at Las Vegas's Harry Reid International Airport on June 6, 2022. The bag contained jewelry valued at $1,700, clothing worth $850, and makeup valued at $500. And now we have this. Here we go. Asya Kamsin says, even this jewelry was in my lost bag. Da. And here's a picture of Sam Brinton wearing her jewelry. And here's a picture. Look at this. Another picture of her in her clothes and then Brenton wearing it. Here's a woman wearing the jewelry that she made or accessory. I don't know if it's jewelry. Yeah, this is amazing. So Larry Alex Taunton tweeted, file criminal charges. Yeah, dude, file criminal charges against this guy. I'm sick of it, man. The cultural decay, societal decay that is happening all around us. And some woman Google searches Sam Brenton, and sure enough, he's wearing her clothes. Lock these people up. They're criminals. But instead, the cult is putting them in positions of authority and power. So let me explain. I have long said, well, not long, but in the past couple of weeks, the United States is hypoxic. At least one hemisphere of its brain, the left hemisphere. When you become hypoxic, you can't understand what you're saying. You can't understand what you're doing. But in your mind, it feels like everything's correct. I've talked about how they put people in these pressure chambers and they lower the oxygen content of the room by a few percentage or some small amount. They ask the people to answer basic math questions. 1 plus 2, 3 plus 7, 4 plus 5. As they begin to lower the oxygen levels of the room, the people keep working. But instead of writing numbers, they begin writing scribbles. They begin putting nonsensical things in the paper, and they're just going through. Then, when they finish, they put it down. They raise the oxygen levels back up and say, how do you think you did? And they go, I think I got all of them correct. And they go, oh, yeah. And they show them and they go, whoa, that's not even a number. That's what's happening. You can't save yourself when you are hypoxic because you don't know. Here's a scary thing. Carbon monoxide poisoning. There was this viral Reddit post where a guy said, I keep finding Post-it notes around my house with reminders telling me to do things, but I don't remember having written these or I don't know where they're coming from. And someone said, you have carbon monoxide poisoning. Isn't that creepy? That you could do something, forget you did it, and it's because your brain is being poisoned, but you don't even realize. That's what is happening to this country. The reason someone like Sam Brenton gets put in office is because half of our country's lobe, or, half of our brain is hypoxic and withering and collapsing, and there's nothing we can do about it. So there's a lot of people saying national divorce. I get it. I do. I'm not going to sit here and just let this diseased brain destroy what's left of the functioning brain. I don't have all the answers. I can only tell you that if we keep down this path of bringing on people like this guy into government, it all comes crashing down. Quite simply. You bring in corrupt, degenerate criminals into government when we're already dealing with much of that and have been for some time, then it gets worse. It's funny because as the country corrupted, we knew politicians were corrupt. We knew lobbyists were corrupting the process. We knew that they were making bets in the stock market, all this really awful stuff. There was only one direction it could go, degeneracy. The people who were corrupt were criminally corrupt, but knew enough to try and fit in. Now, you have the opening of the door for people who are just corrupt degenerates that quite literally don't care. They will steal things in full public view and wear the things they stole. Eventually get caught, sure, but this is idiocracy. They don't have the wherewithal to understand you are guaranteed to get caught if you're doing this. And that's where we're headed. We are headed to a place where it will get worse. If your brain is damaged, how do you correct this? I don't know if you can. When the damaged part of our country's brain is voting to further damage and destroy it, what do you do? Serious question. What is it? Like we're having a stroke? The country's having a stroke? Is that what you'd call it? I've heard crazy stories about people who suffer strokes. They can't understand what you're saying to them. They say things that make no sense, but think they're speaking properly. John Fetterman, depressed, going to the hospital for weeks, can't do his job. That's what happens when you put broken people in government, and it will only get worse. So forgive me. I don't mean to sound black-pilled. I don't mean to say that I think it's all going to come crashing down. I don't know. What I do know is that we need a blast of fresh air. How do you get that? This is an analogy. So in the real world, I have no idea. Shuttering the mainstream media to cut off the poison. I don't want to shut down someone's free speech, but man, they're just spewing carbon monoxide into the bedroom. So what do you do? I don't know. Donald Trump, get Trump in there, fire all these people and try and save us from ourselves. Look, man, you've been warned, but most of you know this. I can't imagine what this country will look like if people like this crackpot degenerate criminal are allowed to keep doing their thing. Next segment's coming up at 6 p.m., so stick around, and I will see you all then.